Hey Dutch, come back here and grab the driver's seat of one of these vehicles.
Hey, did you hear what our plan was, by the way? So all three vehicles are gonna be ready to pull up when the bird's inbound. Tyler's gonna pop smoke for concealment. If they start taking fire, we're pulling all three Vics up and starting to suppress the enemy. Yeah, C-Tab sometimes like just straight up fucking crashes. It's really annoying.
Pem, they let me
That
know
bad?
that their
Holy shit.
Chinook is wheels down over their LZ. Roger. What are they doing exactly? Loading up to move over here. I might have to go AFK though. Okay. Can you please drop your smoke? I'll have Dutch go up there and do that job.
White is the only smoke that provides concealment. He has 2 white, so just grab them from him. It's okay.
Roger, jump by the rock. Roger, thanks.
Yeah, just run up and grab his and just wait by that rock, and when you see the bird inbound, toss both.
Okay, let's maneuver our vehicles a bit closer to the ridge to provide support. Who's a goober who honked? My fucking cat stepped on my goddamn mouse. Got your very own Shanty Timoj? Matter of fact, I dropped my grenade somewhere over there. Alright, Dutch, go ahead and jump in the Vix. We're going to be maneuvering to the east side of the village. Let's move time now. We'll have Tyler catch up somehow. More than ODA. Say again? I said I love the fact that we're SASR instead of ODA. Hell yeah. Alright, we gotta move, guys. So lead Vic is the far north one. Let's go. Vic 2 is on the move. Roger, Vic 3 is on the move. Avoid main roads for IEDs. We got that fortified compound up ahead. Do you want to continue? Is that confirmed clear? I highly doubt it's clear, so let's go ahead and avoid it. Stay in the depression.
Anvil 6, Dingo, we're currently maneuvering to our position on the east side of the objective while you guys are maneuvering in from the north over.
Hold on the other side of this depression. Slow down when you come over that berm. Moving.
The one to your front, probably. Yeah. Yeah, it's annoying. Stay off the road.
Lead Vic, checkpoint 9.
Halt, 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 halt.
Halt, I have guys on contacts east. Reference my tracers.
Hey, push them. They're down the dip, I can't see them. Orion 7, this is Dingo, roger, over. Okay, slow up, slow up, slow up. Okay, stay slow, just keep going. Send for Dingo, over.
Hey, that contact's still checked.
Roger,
Good,
we are currently
Vic
beelining
2
it
putting
to
in a
our
fresh belt.
assault position, over.
Continuing south to CP10. Vic 3 is also rearming the belt. We need to go directly to our assault position. Apparently, they're going to begin executing hostages every 5 minutes, so we need to get on the move. Copy, moving straight to assault position.
Yeah. Let's fucking run him over. Wah, wah. Just watch out for these fucking rocks, dude. They'll like rape your health. Like every single body part will just become light yellow for like no reason, basically. Yeah, it sucks when they're in the shadows with nods.
Base of fire is a kind of a banked position. We've arrived at base of fire 3. Roger. Let's just park down this dip and set up online and get ready. Just want to push the vehicles up and use the turrets? We can. These aren't armored though. I'd rather kind of be prone, just be stealthy. Yeah, copy. Alright, get on.
Send for Dingo, over.
On scrubs. Tyler, do you need belts? Okay, belts. I'm back now, working my way to you guys.
Roger, we're currently at base of fire 3, online, pushing to the actual city itself.
Alright, this is a fucking big town, boys, so let's not rush anything. Take it nice and slow. Grab a rock, engage, push up. Let's just bound. It's bound by 2-man teams at a time. Looks like we have a technical and a tank 214. Clear to engage. EMP2 is fucking heading 215 for McVeigh and I see an emplaced, like a wreck of a BMP. Is there an active one? Oh, I might have missed it then. Is that a wreck? It looks like a wreck, actually. Like treads are hanging. Green team bound already. Green team moving. Green team set.
Moving.
Blue set. White moving.
He's dropped 2189.
Crossing, crossing, crossing.
Oh, did anyone see that shot on the guy in the tower? Negative. We're not taking contact, so I'm not gonna burn my stamina for now. Green team on the move to blue. Point set. contacts moving southeast and northwest between the two compounds. Green set. Remember, as we approach the town, turn down your volume. White's moving. We're gonna get the southern side of the town, so this split here goes south. Rangers are parallel to us on the north. Alright, everybody, let's go to these HESCO barriers. White team's gonna cover this big opening. Let's begin clearing south side. Comms discipline, remember?
Friendlies.
Hey, Gopher, we keep moving south?
Not at this time. Ask for Squally.
I don't think friendlies have AKs.
Turn your laser off, Wood. What did you just throw?
Let's go, guys.
Wood, what
Let's
did you
push in,
throw?
it's not funnel here.
Hey, southbound.
One out. I got right.
Friendlies here.
Oh my god, fuck.
Yeah, that's clear.
We got hostages in these buildings here. Two dead on us. Don't check them up for medical.
Nice. Keep security up.
Negative at this time.
Pam, I'm gonna get back to the southwest side of the compound, make sure no one comes at us from the south or the west. Pam, I'm gonna go vertical in this, minaret. I got one live unconscious on my building. Roger, get Dutch on your position.
Hey, Pemberton?
Are we staying here? What's the plan?
Do you want to deal with the hostages and get
yes.
them out?
Yeah, that's our tasking. You
Got-
guys worry about
got
separating.
Alright, cool.
This guy right here. Fucking move. You want me to do? Yep. Playing turn.
Hey, we got dudes trying to jump the walls. Stay frosty.
Alright, I'm gonna split his leg.
Alright, let's get a head count on the hostages, check them off for medical. Let's push them into one building, and then we'll get an extract on them.
Yep.
All my security rangers are in that southwestern compound.
You want me to push 1,000 as well? Alright, pushing 1,000. And his left arm. Alright, I wanna check on the other hostage real fast. This guy's lost a fatal amount of blood. Can't pick him up, he's dead. Myself and Dutch have 2 hostages. One's dead, and the other we're trying to get back up now.
Roger. So we have 3 in that building that's real long. You have some in that building that you're in, and McVeigh and I have another 4 over here in this building to the northwest.
Ha! We might have to move him to the CCP.
And I got a weapons cache on me about northwest 50
Fucking
meters
trying to
here.
throw a grenade at me.
You're secure.
Yeah, I'm good. I had to pop him in the leg though, but I patched him up. He should be good at least. I got tired of running, so I shot him in the leg.
This guy needs blood.
Just stay with Anvil too. It's okay. You don't have to leech onto me. Just
McVeigh,
hang out
grab
with Bill
yourself
until we
and
get
2
out
other
of here.
people, and go get our vehicles and bring them here. Tyler, go front.
Jesus, how do you get fucking
There's an
lost,
entrance here.
Wood?
They can pull straight up to, okay?
You're lucky I didn't fucking murder you for throwing nades at me.
Go for it. Turn your laser off if you're not shooting somebody, you dingus. To the break in the wall we just came out of. I can't tell if my laser's
you might need
on.
blood.
Blasting right now.
Wood, just hang out here. Oh no, my god.
Dude. Don't sprig out. Take a deep breath.
Be advised, I got eyes on the rangers to the northern part of our town.
Okay.
They appear to be alone.
Should've
There's
just killed him.
2 of them that are
Um,
combat
can't-
capable and
Can't
one's
you
down.
cut off people's head and it's like the same thing?
Say again, we have rangers that are down.
Oh, fuck.
Hey friend, we got 1 ranger to the northern part of the town. He's currently unconscious. The other 2 are doing whatever the fuck they're doing.
Hang out outside, pull
Is he
security.
currently being treated?
Okay.
Thank you.
Unknown.
Little
They dip behind a building. I can shine a laser at their
Where'd you put
location.
the Taliban guy?
in here
He's in
with
here.
But
important
they're all
guys.
alone over there.
Okay. Did you
Roger,
take
is
off
that
the
approximately the here
radios?
marker? Because that's the current CCP.
Yes, man. Fuck. Just pull security force right now so we don't get fucking blown
Stand
up
by,
with
let
it.
me get my...
Make
The
sure
dagger
you
up.
take off the radios just for safety.
Appears that way.
Fuck. Oh, that's right behind us.
Massive QRF coming in from the southeast. We need to fucking get out of here. Get those trucks here now. Kalashnikov, get the fuck down from there when you start maneuvering every single hostage to the entrance on the east side
Time
of
to
the
get
area
the
that
fuck
we
out
just
of here,
secured.
boys.
Kalashnikov, he's coming down from
Time
the
to get
tower.
the hell out of Dodge.
Dutch, make sure that guy doesn't die and the HVT is fine. Kalash and I'll begin moving these guys.
Okay, I'm gonna shove this guy back in the building.
Hey,
Yes.
release that guy, please. Just put him in the building. We're in
Okay.
the middle of extracting him.
Damn it. I want noted for my dually service of chasing this man. you guys need any help moving them?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, please.
Yeah, don't forget about those guys, pal.
Need to make this quick because the QRF is coming in from the southeast, so everyone at the trucks begin loading. Four can fit per truck, that's including driver gunner. That's fine.
Don't know where he went, but okay.
All loaded? Lights 130.
Fuck, they just go.
I don't know.
I'll get that more passenger. Passenger side. Oh.
Are the vehicles full?
Over in this truck.
Okay, I loaded one. Load this last guy. Everyone mount up.
Where do you want me to load this guy?
Over
Load
here,
him in the vehicle.
Over here, Wood. Over here. Let him down, let him down, let him down.
I'll stay on this cord until everyone's loaded up. Let me know once that's done.
Oh, fuck,
Yeah,
I
roger,
wanna
we're
fucking
nobiling now.
Vase Vic's ready to go with
Do you want
Kalash.
me to try?
Is your vehicle full?
I can't load
The last dude.
Let me try.
Hey, you ranger guys need to go inside the city and link up with your team.
Right now,
We
our
don't-
team
we-
is in like pieces.
Okay,
Just come on. Just come
go
on, Wood.
northwest and find your team.
I can't load this last.
Okay, I got him on foot. Grab the trucks, let's go.
Alright, moving this last guy on foot. Grab the trucks. We're pushing northeast now.
Don't forget it.
Hey, who the fuck is that pushing super far northeast away from the pack? You need to chill out and come back here. I thought you said get the fuck away, so he starts going. Well, yeah, I mean, it's been like stay with the pack, obviously.
We're heading to the dip in the tree line, I imagine.
Yeah, we're gonna chill there. Stay at this dip, and I'm gonna see if I can load this guy and see if maybe there's one more free space. Nah, there's no free space, fuck it. southeast following the death plate.
Picking up your 12 security.
Let's try and get a pickup east of ORP2.
Primary Vic, keep pushing front of Pemberton. Just had shrapnel or something kick off beside my head.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Hey, we should probably get these trucks set up in as semblance of 360.
We're currently going to be east of ORP2, northeast of the town of Kura. I can mark a more specific landing zone here in a moment, but we're still not landing.
Push out, establish an LZ east of ORP2. I'm gonna start talking to Air and get them called in. They're aware of our need now. Our womanly needs. It's that time of the month.
So that's why it smells like pennies. Do you want ORP2 or Checkpoint 11? Because ORP2 is pretty south from us.
This looks pretty nice where we are, just north southeast.
Pem?
He's on net with fucking HQ. Okay, we got... Yeah, I heard you, McVeigh. Hang on, I was talking to fucking Whiplash. We've got us plus, I believe, 7 hostages plus 1 HVT, right?
I got 2 hostages in my Vic. 3.
We got 3 as well. Hostages then? Roger, okay.
10 because it's 3 per Vic plus Pemberton's.
Yeah. Alright guys, if we see a suitable LZ, like directly behind you pretty much where I'm at, we can just chill here.
The 6 good too over here.
Where's over here?
Just north.
Okay. Go ahead and establish a mark on the map. Give it a name and I'll call it in.
Roger, stand by.
I love you, blue team. I'll just have to go back and pick up a ranger. Yeah, those 2 guys were so fucking lost, it was insane. I was like, dude, just go fucking north in the town. You're like, your entire goddamn platoon's up there. AFK, dude.
Alright, LZ Ireland is marked on the map.
Okay, set up security. Get the vehicle set up in a triangle formation and go ahead and pull the prisoners or the hostages out. Let's group them up and I will be in position when Pedro's 1 mic out to toss the green flare. McVeigh, do you also have a green flare?
Roger, I do.
Okay, so when you have visual on Pedro, you can just go ahead and toss it straight up in the sky as well with me.
Roger, I'm going to be bringing the passengers behind the Vic where you're at.
Roger.
Yeah, I think releasing them and re-securing them if you have enough zip ties will work. Maybe.
I don't have any zip ties. God damn.
Weird.
You always strip
CH
this motherfucker.
Who took the? Oh, there he is.
Oh, fucking alright.
I have audio on the bird.
Roger, one mic out.
One mic out, I'm tossing flare. Spread out, boys. Just spread out. Alright, all hands on deck, load the prisoners. Okay, let's load up. I think the bird's full. It's full. Get the fucking dicks here.
Push north.
Okay, we're just going straight north, boys, and we're gonna find a big ass open patch of ground for them to come get us. McVeigh. Who got in the bird? Was it just you, Kalash?
A-firm, just Kalash.
You good, Dutch? You gonna be able to continue?
Just north of you guys, past the rock wall.
Alright, boys, set these Vics up for debt. that, Dutch? Are you able to run? Raj. Where are you from us exactly? I don't see you. It's almost direct south of the tree line. Like a checkpoint 9, almost. Holy fuck. Stand by, I'm gonna grab one of the trucks and get you. Visual. Not needed, Pim. Okay.
How far back is Vic?
I can't get the last truck for demo, I'll run it back to you. Get ready to board the bird, boys. On me, on me, on me. Double time it. Gun on your back, Dutch.
All in, all in, all in.
Thanks a lot, Dutch. Thanks a lot, Arch.
Should be clear now.
Yeah, board the rest of the RGB now. So, how you guys like this improvised extract?
It was pretty fucking
worked?
dope. Pretty good. I like finding the DAP box. Looks fucking sick.
I love the frickin' DAP. I killed a lot of shit tonight.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, it can do transport when needed, even though it's not normally supposed to.
Yeah, let's just like fucking strap on right on the edges outside of the ammo cases.
Yep. Because I think real life DAPs, they actually don't have the weight limit to carry any people.
Yeah, they definitely don't.
Yeah, that's one of the things of when they modify it to be a DAP, because they can modify any Blackhawk to do it. It's just when they make that modification, they remove their ability to take passengers. But, I've expended enough ammo, it should be light enough.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Because I went through how much ammo? Went through 1,000 rounds of minigun, 150 rounds of 30 mil, and 6 rounds of daggers.
Jesus. Plus whatever fuel you already burned.
Yeah. And over half my fuel. So. Yes, like 3/5 of my fuel, and then all that ammo. Yeah, you should be light enough for 5 guys.
I thought we were gonna have a moment where we were gonna shoot one of the hostages.
Dude, I wanted to do it so bad.
Be happy I didn't blow up your technicals earlier.
Yeah. The problem, like, I would have done that, but they're fucking hostages and not, like, HBTs, so, good.
I just want to find a rubber back.
This cunt. one of the SAS not done joggy shit.
Well, yeah, but like with the hostages, probably not hostages. Like high value targets that are like local fucking retards. Yeah, why not?
Surprised we didn't see civilians in that town.
Well, it was their headquarters, so I guess they told them I'll go fuck off and whatever.
Yeah, if Frelimo comes a knocking, you don't want to be sticking around.
They'll chop your dick off.
I think our hostage survivability rate was pretty high.
Yeah, definitely.
Considering the situation.
And that, I don't even think that was like from us or anything. He just got caught in the crossfire.
Welcome back.
No, I'm pretty sure he got executed. They both got executed.
Oh, yeah, well, we can't do anything about that then.
I thought I heard AK fire and it was the fucking HVT like popped off shots.
Yeah,
Yep, that happens. Yeah, there was a couple times that I seriously almost engaged your technicals.
Yeah, just go to the briefing area and
Because
chill out.
I see technicals. But the last half, though, I got cleared to anything outside the base.
What's up, homie?
But
Slice?
I saw
What's
your
up,
empty
man?
technicals, and I
You have fun?
had the forethought to
Yeah.
not shoot them.
Did you get used enough?
Huh?
Did you get used enough?
Yeah, I got used a good bit.
Good shit.
I got shot at a couple times. Had an RPG get near me, but that's about it.
Hell yeah. Hell, did you get
That's-
utilized enough?
Did you see how much task gear got? How much shit I blew up?
Hey, I'm just asking, trying to keep it real.
I went
won
through
our-
150 rounds of 30 mil,
LZ Blue.
800 rounds of
What
minigun,
the fuck?
and 6 daggers.
Promotion ceremony.
Okay.
So,
What? Oh, I missed it. Who got promoted?
Where is it? Where is
He
it? Where is it?
emo and a pneumo.
Alright, shut the fuck up. Thank you. Dawson, stop teabagging him.
Can't find it. Where the fuck is it? There it is.
Oh,
You used the British 240.
we have
carry that.
our SAS team here now.
they've arrived.
Oi,
Lit.
cunt!
Collie.
Okay, we're doing this
Pop
next
it.
time.
Say my name.
Yeah. How long is it?
Alrighty. So, feedback on
Almost there.
tonight. I think most of my technical feedback will come at the leadership debriefing because I don't want to hold all of y'all here. Overall, I think you guys did fucking
Yeah,
exceptionally well, especially hitting this shit. Bennington, why the fuck are you talking right now? Thank you. It seems like everyone had a good time and there was a lot of fucking action. So I'm just going to pass it off to each section leader for. You'll have 2 minutes on the mic to freestyle, and then we'll break off into our smaller shit. So we'll start off with the people who went in first. SAS, hit me with it.
Tasking was great. Coordination with Anvil was easy. When I was out there at the bottom of the map, could not get comms with people at the base. So something to keep in mind if you're going to be forward deployed with no talk in between, you're going to need to carry a ground spike. And HR was pretty decent. I think the only people we could not actually rescue were people who were actively being tortured and or executed outside of our purview, which we could not affect. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just make sure you guys stay cognizant of where your team is, because I had some people at the very end in the town of Kavala, wherever the fuck it's called, sort of clueless as to where the rest of their team was, and if we had been under heavy contact, that may have resulted in some casualties. So just stay with your battle buddies and your team.
Cool. Pass it off to Air next.
All in all, seemed pretty fucking good. I got a little bit of watch from the fucking targeting pod. It seemed like things were doing pretty swell for ground. Just pacing, I think, is probably the only thing. Got to keep up pacing and be thinking ahead and making decisions before they actually need to be happening. That was probably about the only thing I really saw that seemed, you know, out of the grade for downright fucking exceptional. So
Cool. Did you guys feel that you had enough tasking?
talked to my guys, they all seem like they seemed pretty good. Don't specifically know about PJs or JTACs, but the actual pilots themselves seem pretty solid.
Cool. Shig, hit me with it.
Good up, good execution. Talking with the ODA guys, cooperating with them. It was easy tonight. Squad levels, some things we need to work on still. The 2-man fucking buddy system that was left in the town when your rest of your squad went down. You were like across town. We can work on that. But other than that, guys, good job. No complaints from me. That's all I got.
Reagan, how'd your little section of PJs and JTACs feel tonight?
Overall, we felt good about it. There was enough for us to do. Only issues were with fucking Acre fucking up, but past that, everything went good for us.
Cool. And Cuts, any last comments from you?
Gunga Ginga.
Gunga
What about
Ginga?
Bennington?
Yeah, I'll get to Bennington.
Well, everything was good, minus the minefield. Almost made me shit myself. Yeah, glad that I have to personally thank Murphy for doing an amazing job at calling out targets, because my brain was a little in la la land sometimes. And thank you for tagging along with Iron.
No problem.
Your machine gun fire sounded fucking lit from the hostage camp, by the way. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, when they were shooting 5 meters over your heads, I was having a heart attack.
I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get Dawson and Wood up here real quick.
Let's get Gator and Heli up there as well.
We're not doing it the normal way.
No, we're not gonna do it the normal way. Just too much bullshit. So Dawson and Wood successfully captured the now absolutely fucked in the face Gazelle. Good situational awareness on their part, and even better job having the presence of mind not to doink him even though he was tossing grenades at him, and then saving him enough that they can bring him back. So I think both of you guys are gonna get some kind of reward for this. I haven't decided what it's gonna be yet, but I think I might just bump you both up to specialist.
Hookers!
So, congratulations on that.
Low job.
Caller, you want to say your piece?
Yeah. Congratulations to Mr. Gator for being with us for a whole 14 days and breaking past his candidacy period and making it to Warrant Officer 1. And please congratulate Mr. H. Heli for making Warrant Officer or Chief Warrant Officer 3. Chief Warrant Officer 3. His consistent fucking attendance and just exceptional fucking flying when he is here. It's always spot on every fucking time. So congratulations to these nerds.
I'm gonna get a couple other people up here. Pulse, get your ass up here. And Wright, get your ass up here.
Do the sex.
Hell yeah.
All right, you guys can get out of my spot now.
So Wright's been doing an outstanding job leading Anvil 1. And with that in mind, we are going to get him officially promoted to the rank of Staff Sergeant.
Yeah.
And Pulse has been a loyal fucking home dog for a long time. He's been putting in the hours, put in the time, and definitely been a super active member of his community in a lot of ways. So Pulse, you're going to get a rank up to Sergeant.
Fuck yeah, boss! Keyword a lot of ways.
Okay, that means he can inspect the next urinalysis. Congratulations.
You can stare at my PP anytime.
I'm just looking around the room here.
The best part about making sergeant is you can look at dicks and it not be illegal.
Can you break off names?
Yeah, let's break off teams now. Leadership debrief will happen in roughly 10 mics.
Got that.
If
Alright,
anyone has anything
you know the
specific they
deal.
want to discuss with me.
All 75th elements get
Come at
together
me,
as
bro.
one before individual break-offs, please.
Murphy.
Good leadership debrief area and then run off somewhere.
Yep, get in your box.
North.
That's like all of Anvil, gang.
What'd you forget?
I am.
All I got are frags and CS gas.
Definitely don't throw any of those. Clash, you fucking ruined my prop building at the campsite, asshole. I hate you.
Oh, we got cuts in. Fucking faggot.
Hey, what's up, Cuts? Yo, get the fuck off the motorbike. Holy shit, we have a debrief to do,
Oh,
Clash.
shit, my bad. I gotta salute you first.
I didn't hear your heels click, Fry.
What are you guys doing over here?
We're doing a debrief.
Sacrifice? What about
Yeah, I'd say it's a sacrifice.
Do you want me to drop this cut? Do you want me to drop this cut?
Do it!
Drop this cut! Murphy, run. Go back.
All right.
Backwards.
Let's get this thing.
All right, debrief. Let's just start from the bottom of the list. Tyler?
Other than getting teleported to what I thought was going to be a Eagle scenario, kind of a letdown, but
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Just a mistake, I suppose.
it was a misclick on it. Is that Birdie explained it to me as a misclick?
Gotcha. McVeigh?
What am I speaking on? Yeah, we had two stragglers at one point when we were moving that got lost, I think, until I reoriented them. And from that, I think everything went well. Oh, I wanted to speak about that road, minefield, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We were off-road the entire time, but then to orient ourselves, I just told Gopher, when you see the road, that's an indicator. But it's not like we were driving on it, per se. Like, we had our mine detectors up, we saw and heard them, and avoided them.
Okay. Gopher?
Not much.
Okay.
I need to rethink some parts of my kit, I think. I don't know what it is. There was there was a bug going on with my backpack, and it would duplicate whenever I tried to put it on my chest.
That's if you do it too much.
That's weird.
It was strange. But
what
no,
other parts of your kit were fugged?
it was just because I had to. Because I lost Tyler's cross-loaded ammo when we went to Halo Jump. Yeah, that's actually pretty much it.
I've heard demo being deleted from switching backpacks, but not ammo.
Well, if that happens, just get in touch with Hemar in the C-Tab or have me. Just tell me and I'll get in contact with him. Because, I mean, it's a bug, right? So there's no reason to have to, live with something stupid like that. Clash?
Really good teamwork out there. We covered our 6 and our 12 really fucking well when we were breaching that second compound. McVeigh pushed right up with me as I smoke checked 2 dudes and had to reload. He was right there to mop up anybody else that would have came around the corner, so that was really fucking dope. Inter-unit or intra-unit work needs a little bit patch up because 75th was kind of lackadaisical in getting to their objectives when we were clearing south. Like, we had those 2 or 3 dudes down there that were just kind of, jerking each other off. And then they got lost. So I don't really know how we would...
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, there wasn't really a minute where they weren't in the shit other than when they were loading and offloading a helicopter.
No.
So it's just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, well, let me make sure I'm not yelling. turn my volume down a notch. That guy Dawson, I think he was being tested out for squad leader tonight, if I'm correct. He was in the HVT building with me, and he was like, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but he was kind of spurting out and like taking deep breaths and sighing and shit like that. So, definitely should have been a little bit more. I don't know.
Professional.
Yeah, professional is a good way to put it. Yeah, his like situation where he's like, I don't know where the fuck everybody is. I looked at him like, dude, stop, take a deep breath, chill out. I said it's gonna be fine. Like, get in contact with your team or some bullshit like that. And they were gonna get our vehicles with us. We didn't have enough room. I was like, dude, you guys need to go north. Like, go north, find your team. So, he has potential, but he was like paired with Wood, and I could tell Wood was potentially getting on his nerves and stuff. So it was just like a weird combination. So
Fuck,
whatever.
there's something else I wanted to say too. Fuck. Just keep going. If I think about it, I'll PTS.
Okay, Dutch.
What happened? Oh yeah.
Freezing your whole computer's fucked, dude. I've never heard of that. I just like
It's
crash
frozen
games
my
sometimes.
ARMA like that before, and I've had to control Alt Delete Task Manager, down arrow, and delete key. Oh shit.
That's fucked.
I remember now.
What's up,
Oh
Clash?
come on, he almost revived from that.
So the fucking whenever Haymeyer had that dude taken hostage or whatever, and you just fucking plinked him, we probably could have roleplayed that out a little better, just for shits and gigs. But I also had a perfect fucking like side silhouette on him, where there was like zero fucking risk to the hostage. So maybe we should try to communicate a little bit. Like, I know we're trying to get in, get out quick, but at the same time, like, let's just kind of be cognizant that other team members probably have a better angle than the guy looking 12 o'clock with the hostage in between you.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, just speak up, obviously. Like, those things happen so quickly that, like, we're definitely not going to roleplay with hostage scenarios in the future. If we have the ability to engage the enemy and secure the hostages, kill the enemy.
Okay.
Just because those situations are too dynamic and they're too quick. I mean, in reality, in the hostage rescue, like they storm a room and distract the enemy and like put their lives at risk ahead of the hostage for a reason. There's no like talking once you actually make the decision to go kinetic. So
it was just like more for like he was like, oh hey, fucking stay back, and I'm like about to line up this shot, and then I just see him crumple, fold like a fucking lawn chair.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you had a perfect side shot, just fucking take it. That way McVeigh doesn't have to risk potentially striking the hostage and stuff, So if you drive the gun faster and fuck him in the ass, then by all means, you have permission.
Yeah, I was just kind of trying to wait for him to stop moving so damn much, because like the second he stopped moving, I was like, McVeigh dropped him as I pulled the trigger and fucking sent a round at him. So
yeah. Yeah, the only time I really like want to actually role play or like talk and do stuff is if we think that a building's rigged or we know building's fortified. We'll do a tactical call out.
Joseph Biden.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus fuck.
The only time I've ever like not shot an enemy is when I hear them talk to me.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and if you guys don't know what a tactical call out is, just Google it. It's just basically cordon off the building and you start talking to them, tell them to come out. Otherwise, we're basically gonna fucking level the building. So, which is actually really common. They did that with al-Baghdadi and shit.
They didn't just level the building for Baghdadi.
Well, yeah, they did. Yeah.
Whimpering and crying all the way along.
Yeah. Was there anything else that you had, Dutch? Okay, cool.
Dutch, do you have an ADX on you? Okay, can you shock this guy? He will not fucking respond to CPR.
Guess how my stepdad got dudes out of buildings in Afghanistan?
How?
When they would cordon off a building, they would basically grab their speakers from their Humvees and blast Hell's Bells until they came out.
That's fucking
hilarious. That was Ranger Regiment.
Yeah,
that was when he was rolling with Rangers.
He's got a pulse.
Couple notes from me. The base of fire was fucking excellent on the west side of that town. just double check that you've read the warning on the outboard, just to avoid situations like almost getting raped by a minefield. I understand you guys weren't on the road, but you know, if they have the potential to place minefields, and they know that enemies are to the north and we're traveling on the north side, like, you need to avoid roads by a very large margin if that's the case at all, if at all possible. Just something to keep in mind. I can't really. I forgot what else I was gonna say.
Oh, tell the pilots to read the fucking op order too.
Oh yeah, that was kind of weird.
That was jank. If we were supposed to do something like that, we should have been going a lot faster. To be honest.
Yeah.
He's an AccuVac.
Clash, in the future when you're running the drone, if it's gonna be too time consuming to check out certain areas, like I told you to check out checkpoint 4, and then I had you move over to the camp. If you know that it's gonna be too slow moving from checkpoint 4 to the camp, just tell me, like, hey, we're gonna be slow checking out the camp, and just go straight to the camp. You know, like, priority information requirements are gonna be, mission stuff, not just like clearing our parking spot. So
Well,
just
I
keep
mean, it
me
was actually
apprised if it's too
good
slow.
because there was it was like a small patrol between us and checkpoint 4
Mhm.
when you called to load up. So by the time we got there, they were cleared out, and wherever the fuck they went, they dipped off. But so
yeah, I
the
think
amount
that was
of
that
time
patrol rotating from that camp that we saw.
probably so the amount of time it took me to get the fucking drone repositioned was probably good.
Yeah. Last thing I had really quickly was on the western edge of that initial AO, Sector 3, we made a dual entry onto the side shack and the main building. And who was at the main building at the doorway?
Was that the second compound?
I think that was
Yeah.
Clash that got
Yeah, I think
jammed
that
up
was
in the
me.
door, but I think he had a blockage. That's why I got behind him and I told him to move.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly what happened, but Gopher and I were pushing the side shack. When that's the case, there's doorways watching other buildings as we're making entry. We absolutely have to make simultaneous entry. Because I looked over after Gopher got shot at. I turned left. I shot the dude in the doorway, and I just look over and see two of you stacking on the doorway. It's like, you guys need to be moving at that point. Otherwise, we're going to get shot in the side like Gopher did. So just very minor tactical considerations.
Yeah, so when we were breaching, my gun was like doing this body block animation where like it wouldn't like come down, kind of like whenever we were on Chinaris. It was like that, but it was when we were on Chinaris clearing buildings, and it was like a shitty model. It was almost like that. So I think I was just having a clipping issue.
Yeah, sometimes your gun can get stuck. If that's the case, you just need to use your tactical position ready button to reset it.
Dude. Okay, yeah, I have those unbound.
Well, yeah, put one of them
probably...
on tab or something easy to press like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure what that was because I saw you were getting jammed up in the doorway, so I ran up and started firing over your shoulder.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I was like just sitting there and I'm like,
yeah, I literally had a round hit my vest and it bruised me.
Sorry, it's coming up.
All right, I think Res leadership is there, ready to go. So let's head back over. Go for drop that cunt.
Some morphine. Oh, never mind.
Skip my neck.
We had a fire call, and it was
I tweaked my neck.
Apparently, and they had propane tanks, and they were exploding while I was in the house.
Yikes.
All I heard was exploding propane tanks.
Shit,
you gotta turn around.
Yeah, tweaked my neck.
I woke
man.
up and my neck
Yeah,
has
that's pretty
been like
nice.
stuck like this.
Can I get some help with my neck?
Yeah. Do you want the my solution?
Shig, I don't think
Here,
anyone will
let me
blame
fix
you
you,
if you
Gopher.
do shoot them.
No.
By the way, if you
I'll
want them
fix-
to work,
shoot
you gotta
me,
make
yeah,
sure
do
that
it.
you're facing away from the fire.
Hey, what the fuck?
He told me I could.
Well, that doesn't mean you actually do it, dude. Jesus Christ.
I mean...
No, I don't care. I don't care how much someone tells you to shoot me or anybody else.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah,
shoot me. Don't shoot them.
Okay, well, tell that to McVeigh.
Okay.
I didn't do anything.
You shot me last leadership brief for no reason.
That was when it was
saying,
done.
Listen, I'm saying from here on out, stop arguing. Holy fuck.
I think we have everyone here. By the way. Little rat.
Glad we had a good night.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective as the Zeus, my few criticisms are mainly like can be brought up. My only real thing that I saw that kind of stuck out was number one, use of fucking rockets inside the potential hostage holding area. That was risque.
I confirmed what kind of munitions it was, and I deemed it safe to not hit casualties of HVI or POWs.
Cool, interesting decision. But other than that, the only thing that I really saw that made me scratch my head was number one, Rangers just generally need to move quicker. And there's a lot of excess time spent on objectives that probably could have been avoided. And number two is communication flow up and down the chain. There was one time in particular that snipe went down because a vehicle rolled up on you guys. And I don't know if air could have got that to them or HQ could have got that down to them, but there was essentially no one looking in the direction that vehicle was coming, and it almost cost an entire element to be wiped out. So, go ahead, Chick.
It was passed down. I called it over radio 3 times that we had a technical coming in from the west on the main road coming in, and I set Iron up to be like a block force with their MGs, and it, slow to react.
What?
Yeah, from the west in the compound. When I said that there was a technical over the platoon's radios, I called out like 3 times. I don't know if like any of you guys heard me, and our TeamSpeak was still fucking up at that time for me.
Was that the technical or the armored car at the end?
No, it was at the airfield. I heard you called out, but at that time, Iron was still at the fortifications, like where the Zeus gun was. So if you earlier had called out for us to go be a blocking force over there, I did not hear that, and I apologize.
Sorry, it took a few extra for ours. There was a really bad situation we had to go through, so.
Okay, give me a second, guys. I'll step back. Right, Snipe, Gremlin, everybody on me. Let's get out of here. We can talk about it.
Huh? What?
Snipe,
huh?
Talk to Shig.
Wait, what?
Well, carry on any discussion. I'll be right back.
Did you enjoy blasting stuff with your 240, Bennington and Murphy?
Yeah, and on that note, this is not like going at you, Cuts. I'm just very confused why you didn't allow a 60mm mortar, but okay to rocket strike in the middle of the town. That made my head just like, what?
To be fair, it was a laser-guided high precision. Yeah, high precision round versus indiscriminate mortar fire is very, 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 very different discussion.
Okay, well, I didn't know that. I was just saying this was very confusing.
Yeah, honestly, I was not originally going to call the cast on there. I was like, nope, too close to the HVI or anything like that. But they convinced me that we had that radio guided.
You're interrupting, Cuts.
Oh, sorry, Cuts. Go ahead.
They had convinced me. They're like, we know how our munitions work. This is going to be okay, and I let them have it.
All right.
Yeah, y'all shooting 5 meters over the assaulting line was giving me a heart attack when we were raiding that HVI compound. There wasn't much y'all could do, but once they get to a certain point, y'all gotta shift fire or something.
Well, I mean, holy fuck.
Once they reached the walls, I'd said stop shooting, and we just started moving up because there was no way we could help them at all.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a stream from the Ranger perspective at all?
Yeah.
I recorded half of it, but after I got down the first time, I had to stop.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to see that. Seems cool.
Yeah. I'll post that somewhere whenever I find it in my files later.
Got a screenshot of Shig leading the Rangers across an open field to the north of the first objective.
Very
this
scary.
This whole map is an open field minus some trees.
Yeah, which you would have to specify which time.
You were heading to LZ Pink, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So does anyone have any kind of hard points they want to bring up?
No, I mean, from my perspective, every time I interacted with leadership and had to deal with, I don't know, any sort of coordination, it was all perfectly fine. Comms were good. Cuts was good with being clear what he needed. Shug was good and responded every time I called to him to give him information. It was just basically my comments just reiterated, or just like towards the end when there were two dudes that had no idea where the rest of the Rangers were. That's obviously a bit of a problem. And then there was, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, so I called out to Shug and said, "Hey, we're making entry on the south side," because I knew that you guys were closer to the north side, and we swept around the south side of the town, and we were met with like, I don't know, a whole squad of Rangers. Had you guys already cleared out the entire northern portion at that time?
Are you talking about when we met up at the hostages?
Yeah, like in that southwest corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I went down, and then I think Pulse went down, so there was literally zero communication during that. So I don't know what or wasn't cleared, but we kind of made our way south and ended up meeting with you.
Yeah. So.
Do you guys want to hear from Campbell One's side?
You gotta turn yourself up, dude. I can't hear you.
There you go.
There we go.
So, the two-man buddy team was from me. It was 2 guys. Then I told to continue clearing through, working with Anvil 2. The situation here, I'll actually draw it out on global. If you look into the center of town, there's a building that's marked here currently. So we had breached in through this sector or this opening, and I had called it up. We had cleared all these buildings. At that time, Anvil 2 had breached in and was starting to push down this way. I had one guy that was down in here, and my CLS was working on him, and Pulse was in there also pulling security at the time. I walked in to relieve Pulse and have him continue with Anvil 2 to expedite the assault, since it was pretty on the ball at that time. And I basically walked in, saw them working on Freeman, and I immediately got shot in the head. So right after that, they called and said, "Hey, Wright's down," and I think it was Kelly came in. And as Kelly came in, he started to look at me, and someone sprayed into the room and killed us all. So it was just a really foobar situation going on, and that was why there was 2 of our Rangers from Anvil 1 were just out there, because they were all that was left of Anvil 1 at the time.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because I said that we were going south, and I thought you guys were clearing this whole area. And I was like, then we came around the corner here.
Yeah.
And I saw like the rest of the Rangers, like, holy shit, you guys must have cleared that quickly, or there's a miscommunication. So I just wanted to make sure like which one it was, because we got to that corner and everyone was just kind of piling up, like no one was actually making entry. Gotcha. So I had to tell my guys, like, guys, like keep fucking moving, like the Rangers aren't moving, like we got to push in. If the hostages are here, like we have to secure them and shit. So one grenade, we all would have been fucked.
When I came over to you, I think it was you, Pemberton, and I was like, "Where is everybody?" It's because Anvil 2, when I was carrying the HVT, they told me to take him over to you, and then that's where I got completely lost, because I called out on the radio when I like made that miscommunication on the HQ net. That's because I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and my squad leader wouldn't respond, so I was doing that.
Gotcha. Yeah,
in
no,
a
that's
way,
fine.
you were the squad leader at that point.
Oh, yes.
It was just a super fucked up situation, and that's why the squad debrief took a second, because we went over it and said, "Hey, what can we do different in this situation to make sure this doesn't happen in the future?" Because especially when we only have 5 bodies inside of the squad, it's a little tricky at times, but we're making it work.
Yeah, in that case, just carry 152, and once you're like, hey, I literally can't get in contact with anybody, just start chirping on the platoon net. Be like, hey, where the fuck are you guys? Because I'm all alone with Wood, and we're with SCS, and we can't find you. And then, yeah, coordinate from there. So, yeah, no, that really wasn't a big deal. I was just trying to, like, sort of figure out the timeline of events and shit, you know?
So when that happened, what was the time frame between someone finding you guys that had the capability to get on HQNet and the PJ showing up? Do you know?
So literally, it was just like I'd say 5 seconds in between each person walking in and getting fucking decimated. Okay. It was maybe a 15-second total event altogether, and I'm gonna clip it and I'll publish like what I have from my stream side so you guys can understand what's going on, because I'm almost dying inside but laughing all at the same time. Like,
yeah, because I know that was the only thing kind of from the 24th side is that we didn't know the timeline of you guys going down, and we just fully thought it was a while before a call came over for us to get there for a mass cas.
No, it was instantaneous. Like, okay. I walked in as Anvil 2 and everyone else was pushing away, and literally, like, they probably heard the gunshots as they were pushing either through here or something, because it was instantaneous.
So it was in the here building?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard the gunshots.
Yeah. And we're unsure if it was someone who, like, was just perfectly peeking this window or what the deal was, but...
So I mean, the AI is smart.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you see this building on the southwest corner of the technical pool? We bypassed that building, and I looked in the windows, and there were two fucking dudes aiming through
what
little.
Could you have possibly said this time to get in trouble?
Sorry.
The fuck. Anyways, what was that?
Now I accidentally opened up Instagram and it started screaming.
There are these like little slits, like murder holes basically, on the side of the building, and there were dudes aiming at us. So the first guy passed, second guy passed quickly, they picked up on it, turned to aim at the third guy was me, and I blasted them both in the face. So they are like really fucking good in terms of like finding murder holes to shoot out of and shit.
More importantly, if you're talking at any kind of volume above a whisper, and there are AI in a building, they're going to essentially pre-aim your access routes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's the Lamb's danger thing where they know the dynamic like areas to aim at and like the entry points.
I was watching a lot of the AI tonight, and I was kind of directing at least their primary main movements, but a lot of times they would take alternate routes, and when you guys were taking that QRF that came across that field at you, there was like 3 of them just laying down in the ditch waiting for you guys to stop shooting at them before they got up and started moving to the next hard cover to continue the fight.
I witnessed that.
At the airfield?
I stepped away for a second, and when I came back, they were assaulting again. I'm like, oh wow, okay.
So just someone's mad breathing into the mic or something. Anyway, 2 things I wanted to bring up that I noticed tonight. Number 1.
Well, hang on. My follow-up to that was, so that here mark, I heard over the net that was a CCP, and Kalash was standing in the tower providing Overwatch, and he said, hey, I see a guy who's down over there at the here marker. I was like, well, that's a CCP. That makes sense. Does it turn out that was actually those like you guys taking a fucking mass-cas? Because I never got a mass-cas call over the net. I had no idea that happened.
Yeah.
So for us, the mass-cas call didn't go over HQ. It went over our little 24th chat because I believe Hunt and Logan stumbled upon it, called it out, and then myself and Peranto immediately detached from cuts. We yelled at him to follow, but I don't know if he actually did until a little bit late. But we immediately started running in, and
I think it was Kelly was able to survive when the guy sprayed everyone, but he was so messed up he made a call over the radio and immediately passed out.
Yeah, because I was in the minaret, I guess would be the proper terminology for that. It was just a really tall tower. And I'm looking out towards I think it was like the north side of the compound, and I just see like dudes crawling and limping and one dude getting carried. And I tried calling over to Pam. I was like, "Hey, do we need to send somebody over there? Like, I just see a bunch of people that are fucked up." He goes, "No, it's a CCP, I think." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So then I shifted fire away from that.
Yeah,
And then...
literally like 3 minutes before, Cuts was like, "Yeah, I'm over here. We're establishing a CCP at the here mark." And I was like, "Is that approximately the here mark?" And Clash was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, well, those are just wounded guys like moving to get treated." I didn't know they were all fucking dying.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think
Cuts had, like,
by
2
the time it
PTSs.
was called and the dot here was put there, like all of my situation had already unfolded. So anything after that was like we were all in there just bleeding to death at the point.
Just before I get to Cuts to PTS, 2 quick things to bring up. Unless you're a pilot, this is directed mainly at you, Bennington, and anyone else. There's no reason why you should be rocking quad nods. Just no. 0 quad nods unless you're a pilot.
I didn't know those weren't allowed.
Well, they're just a very, very high advantage piece of technology compared to what the kind of the standard Ranger and everyone is using. So just keep that in mind. Just cut down on the quad nods. Pilots are okay because you probably would have them in real life. And Cuts, I guess you're a major, so whatever. Other than that, was anyone in the Rangers carrying any kind of light anti-tank weapon, an AT-4, anything?
Yes. Someone had a Carl Gustav.
Yep. Okay, just asking. I didn't see any out there, so maybe that's just me looking around. But I would just double check on that. That was all I had to say. Go ahead, Cuts.
Something that I saw come up from the time that I had to step away, from the time that I came back, one comment continuously comes up, and that's tempo. One of the things I really want to hash on or figure out is squad leads. What do you need from us in leadership to be able to keep that tempo up? Do we need to be more clear on time on objective available? Do we need to have more clear communication between you guys? Like, what kind of things do we need to do to help increase that tempo?
If I may interject here real quick. So I obviously am in an aircraft and don't have any input like on what's said on the ground. I don't overhear any of that. I hear the AirNet and I hear HQNet. Oh.
You cut out color.
I'm in a fucking debrief right now.
Reagan, I can hear everything you're fucking saying.
Color, you
Oh,
cut
what
out,
the
homie.
fuck?
Did I cut out again?
Yeah.
Yep.
When did I cut out?
Like 20
you
seconds
talking
ago.
about HQ and
What you hear.
So I literally only hear HQNet or like the high command net, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and the AirNet. And I was aware that you guys had 15 minutes and 7 minutes on objective. I also knew you guys had like no time on objective because Cuts came across the net and was basically like, "Yo, like get the fuck out of there, like right fucking now." So I'm not sure where the disconnect's coming from, but coming from these guys, the information on TOT is definitely being relayed.
I would say for senior leadership and squad leads and shit, like on a platoon level, the RTO is due to like starts keeping track of time the moment you have troops in contact, and
We don't have an RTO.
I'm aware, Bennington. Thank you. So the platoon leader could definitely benefit from having someone be assigned to keep track of that and basically bug the ever living shit out of him in case he gets overwhelmed or is dealing with other stuff. To basically scream at him and be like, "Yo, dog, we got 5 minutes. Yo, we have 4. Yo, we have 3." That might help. From my perspective, and this is very distant, obviously, but it seemed like a lot of the time on target was spent because you guys were still engaging stuff, rather than okay, we have a baseline like level of security for the supply depot. I'm gonna blow it up and just fucking dip, regardless of stupid squirters out in the middle of the fucking desert shooting at us. Like we can pull back, load up, and get to the next objective. I think like stopping and engaging the enemy for so long resulted in a lot of time on target that was unnecessary. Although that is fun to shoot people, so it's understandable.
I don't think my question was clear. I want to know from the squad leads, what kind of things are going on in your head, and what are you guys hearing that you may want more of or need less of? Any one of you guys want to speak up? Even team leads at any point? Like, did you guys know time on objectives that we had? Did you guys understand why we had those times? Like, are there people that are causing issues in those squads? What kind of things are going on the lower levels that we can help out with up here?
This is SL of Anvil 1. This is Ray talking. So for
I
us,
know who you are, right?
Okay, I never know, so I figured. It seemed like the tempo was really, really good up until we breached in and we set security. There was some confusion on who was finding the cache and where it was at that point. Once that was sorted out, we planted demo and then we pretty much pushed out. Don't know what the timeline was or how much engaging was done. We pushed out into the tree line. Where big pause in tempo really seemed to be was just like getting an LZ set up and pushed from the phase 1 AO to the phase 2 AO.
Okay.
That seemed to be like the big hiccup on everything tonight.
Okay. Were you guys designated special teams? One, do you know what special teams are?
Negative.
Okay. So prior to any sort of raid or time on objective where there are certain priorities of work that need to be done, there's usually an EPW team who handles POWs, civilians, anything like that. There's a aid and litter team that deals with all casualties, or anybody like the CLS dudes get together and have people specifically assigned with dealing with that. They have a security element, obviously, and then they have a demo team. Mm-hmm. So those are the specific 2 to 4 to a full squad of people who are assigned a specific task while they are on an objective. So what I'm hearing from this is if we establish those special teams as some sort of SOP, like say, hey, Anvil 1-1, you guys are going to be an EPW team. So you guys clear the whole objective and make sure all the enemies are dead, the place is fucking secure, while everyone else is pulling security. After that, we get all of our casualties out of there from, say, Anvil 2, who's assigned as the aid and litter team, right? And then once we've gotten those 2 special teams out of the way, we have a designated 2-man team, 4-man team as a demo team. So no matter what, as soon as we go through our priorities of work, there are people who know what they need to do while they're on objective. So there's not that hiccup of what am I supposed to do, or what is that person supposed to do, what are they doing? Like, you guys have those teams established prior to. So as squad leads, if Shig or anybody else who's planning these operations don't designate that, bring it up. Be like, hey, do you want 2 of my guys to be demo? Hey, do you want my squad to be the EPW team who handles all those POWs, right? So establishing that might help. Just set up an SOP with your guys and get together with Shig, so he's also tracking on that. That could help out a lot on that.
I can comment on that a little bit since I took over after Snipe for ML2. We cleared the objective, and as soon as we found the actual cache, we set the detonations, and then we were just pulling security, and I was waiting for further orders. So that's everything from my angle.
So just to build off what Cut said, Shig, you and your squad leaders, definitely before you step off, I think you should assemble all your dudes if you're not already doing this, and make sure that fire teams or buddy pairs or whatever, however you want to organize it, definitely has those prior taskings, so you know that, hey, A and B person are definitely tasked with doing this. B and C person are definitely tasked with doing that. Just so people know going into the mission that, hey, we've hit a target. I am responsible for A, B, and C. The second thing is that I think that Shig, you would really benefit from having a platoon sergeant. And I know Wolf has kind of been hit or miss in terms of his activity, but that role really needs to be filled by someone who is going around with their big chungus and just fucking smoking people who are not on target or on task.
Oh fuck! I got a burn right now.
Hmm?
Huh?
You said something?
I think he said he has a boner right now.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yo,
But
why
yes,
did frames just dip? What the fuck?
Ranger Handbook is definitely a good way to kind of learn and apply things that we can improve tempo with. But I honestly, the number one thing that I think you guys need is someone besides Shig riding everyone's dick to be on task and on target so that those timelines can be tight. Like, think about it this way. If I was running around beside Shig, literally yelling at fucking mongoloids who are doing stupid shit, they would stop doing stupid shit. Like, that's all it is. So, obviously, from a squad lead level and sometimes even from a platoon leader level, you just don't have the mental capacity to be able to. Hey, we'll talk later, Reagan. To be able to put all that, connect all those dots and do 3 or 4 additional things and do that extra thinking. But if you have someone who can legitimately just be tasked with, hey, your job is to keep everyone on task and on target and, herd the cats, so to speak, then a lot of that shit gets cleared up real quick.
And someone who's consistent with attendance.
Yeah, that's a huge thing, and it's not even mental capacity. It's literally that there's not enough fucking time to split your attention to doing 3 additional things on top of 3 other things you're doing. Like anybody who's in a leadership position can really juggle 3 things. Past that, you really need to start delegating. And I can just vouch that 100% works. That's what we do in the SASR. Gopher is almost always providing security during time on objective with 249, or if he's not doing it, he's with a buddy pair like Tyler was tonight. Dutch always attends to wounded and EPWs and stuff, or hostages. I don't have to worry about him doing that. And Kalash is always doing SSE and interrogating people and doing all that type of shit. And those are just so many small tasks that I don't ever have to worry about. So I can coordinate with McVeigh and everyone else to send reports to command, maneuver and figure out our next step. So that's a huge thing in providing mental clarity later down the road.
It also comes down to, just as Tyler was saying, fire team leads being disciplined and understanding that, as soon as you're in any kind of leadership position within the unit, whether it be a fire team leader, squad leader, platoon leader, your priority becomes managing guys, not pulling the trigger. So if you have to in those situations, don't be afraid to take yourself and put yourself at the back of the pack so you can maintain that. Honestly, I would suggest it. I mean, I probably said it 3 or 4 times before. If you want to get good and get some good practice at being an effective manager of squad size elements, play fucking Unsung, man. That's legit the best fucking practice you can have.
Or squad in general.
Yeah, that too.
But other than that, squad leads, is there any other thing that kind of comes to mind that we can possibly help out with or provide feedback on that could make your guys' job easier to be able to keep that tempo up? Nope.
Maybe having asking status on the objective. If an objective's finished, then we could just move on right away.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I was going to bring it up, but I know Shig was having his hands full with a bunch of shit, so I didn't want to just yell as another voice on the comms. But we were done on the airfield. We said the charges. We could have just moved on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like we sit on objectives for entirely way too long, and it's almost like we're expecting we have to defend the objective from a QRF or something versus just making contact and dipping on out.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. And just a pro tip, sniper, whoever's here, if you have that moment where you're thinking, should I hop on the radio or should I not? There's absolutely no reason why you can't leave your position as long as it's not a retarded distance away. Physically go find the guy and be like, yo, homie, we done here. Let's get the fuck on the road.
Do y'all have the a general timeline of how long you should be on objective? Like just baseline. I told Shig 10 minutes on objectives is like super over the standard, but I think we're at the level that we're at. 10 minutes is a pretty decent time. From the point of time the support by fire opens up to the point of time we are off the objective is 10 minutes. So obviously for a lot of the confusion that can get pretty lengthy depending on the objective, but 10 minutes is a pretty good baseline. So if you realize that you're hitting around that 10-minute mark, you can be like, hey dude, like let my guys push through, clear the rest of this so we can get off. You know, like take that discipline initiative and help Shig out, right?
I know
Well,
Shig had a PTS.
I got a counter to that.
Just before we get your counter, I know Shig and Kelly have PTSs, but I'm just going to hand it over to Kelly because he hasn't spoken yet. Go ahead, Kelly.
I don't know if this has been said yet, but like for terms of keeping up good tempo, like in my eyes, the biggest problem is casualty care. Once we start taking casualties, it's like the biggest freaking step in the mud. You're stuck in molasses. Like once we start taking casualties, everything's like comes to like a complete halt. So I think in the future, I don't know, like on the squad level, we should try to work on how we would deal with casualties. Like for example, I don't know if people don't know how to clear a room and like 3 guys just got shot and they're down. You know, that's happened and that happened today. So we got to figure out how to deal with that more effectively and still continue to push on the objective, because if we start standing still and only work, yeah, exactly, Snipe, exactly. So like we gotta, you know, kind of train people on that, because like getting held up is really dangerous.
Well, I think the other thing, just before we get to the next PTSs, is it's going to sound counterintuitive, but there are definitely times where you can say, okay, casualty is relatively stable. I am going to throw him over my shoulder and fucking pull him back to a position where we're regrouping, whether it be a rally point or whatever, where that can, or a CCP, yes, where that can be done. So I would say from now on, Shig, as part of your planning, designate a CCP where if a casualty goes down, then or someone goes down, etc., that the medics / JTACs / whoever's fucking helping them out can literally say, okay, you're not losing any more blood currently. I'm going to move you to a position where someone can work on you that's outside of the target, so we can get off the target quicker.
Well, now that we have platoon medic, that's coordination of ground care is his sole responsibility, and so that should actually be going forward pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Once you stop bleeding, your CLSs tell the platoon medic where the dude is. If you're close enough to maneuver him to the CCP, maneuver him and leave him. Like he's in the care of the medic. You got to keep going.
Who's the platoon CCP again?
Platoon medic is Kelly.
Kelly.
He just
It is Kelly.
this is his first stop today, so as
Gotcha.
platoon medic.
Yeah, and like Kelly, bring some chem lights, like just colored chem lights, and set a standard and just be like, yo, like you see a red chem light, that's the CCP. You see a blue chem light, that's CCP. Whatever.
Yeah. By default, red is.
Yeah. All right, there you go. You get a red chem light, fucking drop it down. That's the CCP. People know they see that, they need medical, they go there. People coming back, they see the red chem light, they go there.
Well, then call it over to the CLSs and let them know, hey, there's a CCP located at this position, if it's not a pre-planned one anyways.
Yeah, realistically, there should be, like, I mean, Kelly, that's honestly probably part of your job. Like, you need to be that fucking gnat in Shig's ear. Like, hey, we need a CCP here. We're expecting to engage shit here, so, like, we need to have a CCP 150, 200 meters back.
And as part of that, I'm going to put you into the op planning channel, Kelly, because you're part of that platoon command now, technically. So I just want you to be diligently thinking about, how we're going to deal with casualties on certain objectives and give that feedback as part of the planning.
Yeah, and keep in mind, as the platoon medic, you pretty much have full discretion on coordinating all the CLSs. So, the platoon medic and CLSs being on a separate radio channel is an awful idea. Sorry, Snipe. That's way too much for them to juggle. The CLSs, it's recommended that they have a 152 radio so they can monitor platoon net. for the very reason of coordinating casualty care directly with the platoon medic.
Mm-hmm.
So, if CLS is like can't juggle a secondary radio, then they probably shouldn't be a CLS.
Do we have an alphabet designation for CLSs? So like, was it Anvil like 1
Anvil
Charlie or
6
whatever?
Mike?
We can do Anvil 1 Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
So,
all right, because sorry to jump in without a PTS, but I definitely do agree that CLSs do need communication on the platoon level because it can be a squad level MASCAS, and we're gonna have to hop on or switch our radios to the entire platoon just to call up that we need help. So I think having that direct communication to the platoon medic to let them know what our situation is really helpful.
Someone get this man a
And
fucking promotion.
I think I agree with having call signs. Having like Anvil 1 mic, Anvil 2 mic, Anvil 3 mic, make it easier.
I would probably say just Charlie, because the platoon medic is going to be Mike, just so there's no confusion. So if someone kind of tunes out the radio half the time and hears Mike on the radio, they don't think it's the medic instead.
Well, I mean, you can have Anvil 6 mic.
right, but
Yeah,
the point is to
Right.
make a
Said if they
designation,
didn't-
the
if they
difference
didn't hear
between
it, if they didn't hear the first part.
make the designation between the head honcho and the underlings. So Mike and Charlie.
I guess.
I'm just gonna throw it out there, Rivera. You're now a specialist. Congratulations. Take more
Congratulations.
leadership in this.
Yeah.
Take more leadership in this. Shit.
I mean, I kind of have more questions and shit, but I'll
No,
leave it.
we're not doing that anymore, Caller.
We gotta finish this.
What were you saying,
We
Rivera?
don't do that anymore.
On the note of tempo, I suggest that we can like designate an AO and possibly have phase lines so that every squad knows, like we have phase line 1 at the tree line, like right here. Look on map near the airfield.
A good example is actually Kura. Split the town in half with a phase line.
Yeah, I definitely, that was one of my second points, is that we could have hit this town a lot better, split it up, give a certain squad each section, because like you see Anvil 2's path is the same one that Anvil 1 took, essentially. So we had 2 squads on one side when we could have split up the town and cleared each section. Because
I think
that's...
that was intended because the town is divvied up.
Yeah, I mean,
in the sense,
it is a little bit tricky. It was kind of a tricky situation, but I do feel like, one squad would take this area right here and then have like this area split up down the middle. Again, I don't know what happens at the platoon level, but I feel like we could have sectioned off the town, hit it from different sides if possible. Then again, I do understand that there's a time limit, so that's just my notes on keeping up tempo and setting up phase lines so like every squad is on point and we're all together instead of one squad being up ahead.
Where have you been all of our lives?
Like I said, congratulations, Specialist Rivera.
Sure, you can just talk, Doug. You don't need to do PTS.
All right, so
no shake.
on,
I want your PTS.
Okay, that's fine.
Type PTS again, Shig.
On mission time frame, before op started, I sat down with squad leaders and leads. I did give them a rough roundabout full time, since we were supposed to be, gathering intel on these areas before we attacked them to make sure that the whatever the fuck his name is now wasn't there, or if he was there, everything like that. So if you look down at the phase 2 in Kara, or whatever the fuck it is, it put 15 minutes. So that was going to be 5 minutes at OP3. Put those in effect.
He did. Yeah, I can confirm
so,
that.
Those were given out. Second thing is, like, I don't see everything on ground level. I have fucking platoon channel going in off my ear. I have cuts yelling at me, do this, do that, do this, do that. And then, so I'm not seeing everything or not hearing everything. So it's hard for me to juggle, what they're doing. They might be giving me information and I'm like, can't hear it because I'm trying to get information from uppers to the guys that are down below me. So it's like miscommunication, lost in communication, etc., so forth. Like it's gonna happen from time to time, especially if there's there was my choice to sit on that and hit the QRF. Due to the fact that I did that was because we had a fallen angel. That's the only reason we were on that objective for so long. I want to have a blocking force in that compound to stop the QRF from going to a fallen angel and then causing a mass cas at that site. So that is why they stayed there so long. I was confused on the situation in that as well because you told us to break contact, show that we weren't actually raiding anymore, and then we started blowing shit up. Like, it just that also confused me, so I stopped us in the woods to set up an LZ to get out while you blew this stuff up. So there was some places with me where I was confused. So, yeah, it is what it is, but there's lessons to be learned from it.
Mind if I hop in for a bit? Just so you can stay on track, as everyone said, get a platoon sergeant.
I have one.
At least, from what I was hearing, he's not very active.
I'm not taking anything against him. He's not active. He has real life shit going on. I trust my platoon sergeant, who it is right now. So I'm really not trying to get a new one. Once he's able to, I'll deal with it until he's able to show up again.
Then I would probably suggest a temporary replacement of some kind, because your platoon sergeant is essentially moving in, your platoon sergeant making sure everything gets done instead of you having to do all the work.
Yeah,
It'll
I
put a lot of
understand
stress
that.
off your soldiers.
Not to take anything from anybody here, the people that I would recommend to take that role is going to be the people that are leading my squads. And I'm not trying to cut a squad short of an amazing leader to fill a role that.
Would you take me?
No.
Bro, no.
You lead your own fucking section. Get out of here.
In all fairness, she's only dealing with 2 squads. It's not particularly complex, but that Shug's also relying on his squads to communicate back up to him and be proactive about, like, hey, we're sitting waiting. Instead of being reactive, be proactive. I'm not saying that wasn't being done. I'm just saying that's like a huge part of keeping up tempo is the moment you're like, hey, we've done our objective, we're waiting, or like, what the fuck do we do now? Instead of waiting for your platoon leader to come down to, just talk up to him and be like, yo, please advise, what the fuck are we doing? So
realistically, the only other in-between solve that I might be able to suggest is on a given mission, Shig pulling someone who is not a squad leader, but is otherwise competent, or he has faith in, and saying, hey, you're going to be my RTO tonight, and listening to HQNet for me and relaying all the relative information to me so I can focus on my platoon net and my guys. So I'd say that's probably the best temporary fix until Wolf can get his attendance back to normal.
I guess another suggestion too. I don't really know on the squad level between Anvil 1 and Anvil 2, or at least with approval from platoon, but at least talking with each other. And depending on the situation, of course, like sometimes you just can't do anything, but definitely coordinate with each other instead of waiting for platoon to tell you what to do. You guys have a set objective to just move.
Can we promote this dude to my
I also
job?
do feel that on time, that we shouldn't have used the LZ to transport people over. That's only like barely a click walk, and you can do that in like 7 minutes. We spent 7 minutes just waiting. But sorry, that's past my point.
Yeah, on that note of the 7-minute thing, we had what was the time frame cuts? Like 5 to 10 minutes before we started executing people. So it rushed.
20 minutes to 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was Cuts took some creative fucking liberty on that one.
And I'm gonna guess why it changed from 20 minutes to 5 minutes, because your ass blew shit up on the fucking airfield.
Nah.
By the way, I just wanted to confirm. Heli went down tonight because he clipped a tail rotor, not because of anything else, correct?
I called that out.
Correct.
Yeah.
He is now unformally known as Birch.
I watched. one of his rounds hit the tree next to me, and I yelled, and then I saw him crash, and then I apologized.
Also on that close air support, I did for sure call that overnet that it was going to be close air support.
Well, the only reason I was mad is because they were shooting at a dead truck.
Yeah, they did shoot at that dead truck collar for a fat minute.
Yeah, they did 3 passes.
For like
They wanted
3
to make sure
passes
it was real
on
dead.
a fucking blown up truck that was cooked off.
Hey man.
Well, no, it wasn't cooked off, but all the wheels were gone.
Is Heli still here? No, he's gone. Hey man, he didn't know.
I know, but I was trying to.
That
I was
could've
trying
been-
to like Logan.
He
Tell him.
was
Tell
looking
him
at
to stop.
Bennington wrong. All right. The truck was looking at Bennington wrong. All right, and Heli saw that from the air. So.
Well, a quick point on that: did a JTAC call it in to have it?
Yeah, and he called it danger close. On AirNet, we knew it was going to be close as fuck.
Yeah, no. I'm not mad about it.
Why is a JTAC calling in fire support and CAS on an empty truck?
Well, at the time it was called in, it wasn't empty, and then it became empty.
I was looking at it the whole time. It was like 40 feet in front of me.
Oh, you were looking at the wrong truck.
Yeah.
I was watching the rounds impact so I was definitely looking at the right one.
They might have just engaged the truck danger close to you because they were also called Type 3 for pretty much anything 300 meters outside of the objective. So
Gotcha.
if you were like kind of close for that,
I mean,
then...
it was called that it was going to be danger close. That's definitely not my worry. Then it was danger close. I'm just like confused why we're using CAS on empty trucks.
Well, it's also a matter of like by the time the call comes in and the aircraft is inbound, guys might have engaged the target, but
gotcha.
Yeah,
it's almost not worth calling them off. Just let them fucking shoot the shit up and call it a day.
Just because I want to get to Gremlin because he's been super patient. What do you have to bring up, Gremlin?
A small thing, nothing big, but please don't make a landing zone in front of a squad that's engaging an enemy squad, because then we have to be careful not to shoot you, and then you're getting shot by the enemy. Because a helicopter landed on the airfield in front of my guys, engaging enemy, like third enemy squad in the distance. It was really fucky.
On that same note, it was LZ Blue you're talking about, right, Gorman?
Yup.
Yeah,
that LZ was caused off like 6 fucking times. Like, it was too hot to put a bird down there. Like, it was called over HQ net that we need to relocate that LZ, and it was called over like twice over HQ net actually. That I was trying to find JTAC to, for that not to happen, and like they still landed.
I heard cuts on the HQ net like 5 minutes before we landed, or maybe 2 minutes before, and he asked us SAS to land at LZ Blue and go get the pilot. So
that was before the LZs got closed, Pen.
I didn't
Another
hear anything on
UH-60.
HQ after that, I don't think.
Another UH-60 came in. Nah, I heard him close the LZ. Another UH-60 came in. It was the second UH-60 that landed, right? You're talking about?
Yeah, it was like super, like it was under fire, like it shouldn't have landed whatsoever. The pilot itself should have called that off. It was too hot.
I know I came in when I was taking tracer fire the first one, but it wasn't like enough to warrant me waving off. It was like, I don't know, I put the Sacer guys on the ground just fine. It was like light tracer. And then the second one, I didn't get to see the second landing, but I know he was on the ground for a while too, so.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, it's not
the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like shit on anyone or calling anyone out. It's just like
fucking shit on people, dude.
Be careful next time, because otherwise my guys are gonna shoot the fucking reinserts and the pilot in the helicopter because it's landing in front of us.
Yeah, when we were calling to the pilot like 4 or 5 times over AirNet and HQ, and he's not responding to us and still lands, like.
Yeah, this is the place to shit on people.
Well,
this is
maybe
how we learn.
Here's a suggestion: if maybe we just have a universal sign for wave off.
We do it to avalanche.
No, I just mean like a visual sign.
A fucking red flare or some shit.
Like a red or like a purple flare or something.
Color doesn't mean a lot for the pilots because we're always in NVGs, so you have to be cognizant about like color. If you're putting a flare up like on an LZ and marking it with that, like they don't. Like I can't tell the fucking difference between a red and a green flare when it's in the air. It's just fucking white.
Well, we know a flare that works.
Well, a flare is obvious. It takes too long to set up. I mean, you can, yeah. I would say just any of the hand flares. We can designate that as a SOP in the future because like visible flares are super obvious. And then during daytime, what's the neutral color smoke? Fucking.
Why is there a bomb?
Yellow.
White or orange, I think. No, orange is controlled debt. I think it's yellow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So basically, I guess yellow smoke during day. And a visible light flare at night is just considered wave off.
McVeigh, you can set it off.
What is it? Oh,
It's
it's a
a-
tripwire.
It's like a
Oh.
firework.
I mean, that's a pretty good wave off to me.
Oh fuck.
See, that one works because it's so many too.
Yeah, we can do
I
that
mean-
then. I love that flare. It's my
And
favorite
that
one in
took
the
me
game.
like what, 2 seconds?
Yeah, it's actually really quick. You just start it and like run over the tripwire.
So back to like.
Is that something a JTAC's gonna do, or the SLs need to be able to do that?
Well,
Who's gonna be
anyone,
doing
I
that?
guess.
I think if you give it to your platoon leader and whoever is actually coordinating the landing, so whether it be the JTAC or the PJ or whoever it is, whoever is a direct communication with air, I wouldn't give it to anyone else.
That makes sense to me.
Quick question. I guess since we're on topic of air, how was the drop, by the way?
It was
air
fucking
drop
lit.
It looked
was
sick.
was it like a good speed and a good altitude?
Yeah, for sure. It was
Nobody
like we were
died on it.
perfectly spaced out. It took us, I think, a total of 4 minutes to regroup at rally.
Okay.
And
Yeah, so
nobody
that
got lost
was-
this time, so.
For reference, if anyone needs like that for that, it's 200 and 250. So 200 kilometers an hour and 250 altitude. Good, right?
Yeah, so I thought it was really like super overkill the way the loading procedure went. Like counting 2 separate chocks instead of both at the same time, like doubled the amount of time it took for us to step off. Is that normal for you guys to do that, or?
We were kind of trying to kill time as well.
Oh, were you? Okay, because usually the way I've seen it done in the past is the 2 chocks set up right next to each other even, and one person goes down the middle, calls the numbers, and the 2 people on the side, the chocks that are getting numbered, they crouch and say their number, and it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone versus what was done tonight.
Yeah, they were trying to
normally
kill
do something
time.
like that.
Okay,
we were trying to trying to kill time and cut out. Normally, like that whole procedure takes like 30 fucking minutes, and
Yeah,
we
way
didn't
too
have
fucking long.
that much. We didn't have that much fucking time.
You should have seen how we used to do it.
It takes.
We individually gave a number to every single person.
We did that tonight.
No. I mean, like, it
you
would
also
be.
have to realize that like that the method you're discussing is quicker up until you've got 1 or 2 people who are like either retarded or are not paying attention.
Me.
No, literally, I'm not joking. Every airdrop, there's a retarded person, like at least one.
Yeah,
like
there
they
was,
literally
there were
sort
2
glass.
guys who didn't jump.
Yeah, one was like, before he even got in the plane, he was saying something that like he's never done it. He was like, I don't even know if he said he was scared, but like nervous or something like that. Yeah, and he like didn't fucking jump, bro. I was like, I asked now, I was like, where's this dude at? He's like, oh, he's still in the plane. I said, what the fuck?
Yeah. SAS was fucking scared. We did a
I've had
Halo jump at 330 meters.
A lot of people, or not a lot, but like a few select individuals were like, "Oh, I don't know how to Halo drop. Do we static
It
line?"
wasn't Halo. You just jump out and you guys
No,
even have to pull the chute.
double smash V. Call it.
You have to pull the chute.
No, you did have
still.
to pull shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, you have
A lot
to
of people
still.
dropped very fast.
Yeah, but
Without a
like
chute.
people were kind of confused, or they're like, I mean, I guess they didn't know to jump bounce, pull the chute, because a lot of different information was going out. Like, oh yeah, you just static line, you just like the one plugin where you actually stand up, hook up, and you can have the option of static line.
We had
I know
that
that
and
was
killed
being
people.
that was being spread out, and people were also saying like, oh yeah, no, you just jump out and pull your chute, while other people were saying, oh no, you have to hook up, stand up, hook up, and then you have the option.
We'll write confusion of the mods.
SOP document.
Well,
but
who the fuck
my
was the
point is
jump
that there's
master?
different types of information going around, so that
who was a
caused some
jump master?
confusion.
Helly was the jump master, and I was the one who gave all the instructions. So, and I definitely said you got to jump, and can pull the chute, because I think someone
Yeah.
specifically asked me, and I said, and I asked for clarification, and you know.
Yeah, literally
Yeah, it
nobody
was
except for the jump
clarified.
master and caller need to be giving any instruction. Period.
Well, from what I've heard, a lot of information's going around. So
I
Do you
gave
know who
instruction
that
on
was?
radios.
Um,
that was
that
The
wasn't paying
radio-
attention, but
so-
I remember clearly at the arsenal some
whatever
people were splitting
fucking-
that information.
Whatever fucking reason, Heli. So we had the radio set for 14, and he was gonna call the information on 14 block 1, and his radio just didn't work. He couldn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't communicate, so he just was yelling,
That
which
was
was
fine.
fine because people were fucking quiet, so it was all right. But
Just while I have all you here before people start logging, I've been trying some different things out in terms of when I'm building the missions. How does, like, that? Number one, how were people's frames tonight? Number two, how did the builds look like when you were hitting targets and stuff? Did they feel, quote, real? And other than your tempo, how did you feel the level of contact was tonight? Anyone can just chime in.
It was good.
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Cut up, Bennington.
There was nothing floating or anything. What I did see, so because I remember, I think it was during the training mission when we were all in Kavala. There was some floating stuff, and then there was just stuff all over. But I know that one was sort of thrown together. So
yeah, everything felt pretty well built and pretty solid. Frames were great. We noticed specifically a frame drop when everyone was jumping out of the plane. So I guess we were all starting to render their high poly
Parachutes.
gear and shit and parachutes and all that shit all at once with like fucking 30 people. So that, I mean, other than that, like, frames were great. I will say for the POW camp in the woods, I don't think they would have like established wooden like barracks buildings. For future reference, if they're gonna be hiding dudes in jungles, they're probably gonna be under camo nets and like tents and stuff like that. Kind of like that Somalia hostage rescue where they just hide underneath acacia trees and shit like that. So
Yeah, no, I knew that going into it. The reason that I built it that way was twofold. Number one, to make it very obvious where they were, and number two, I guess I was kind of LARPing that could have been, previously established space that they were using that they just can shove the hostages into. So
gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to make it obvious for us. We'll be
I
fine.
know I don't need to make it obvious for you, but just in general for planning and
Specialty.
stuff, I
I
just wanted
gotcha.
to make this a little bit easier. But I'm sure on future missions I'll be hiding hostages down fucking hidey holes and all kinds of shit. So
I was gonna mention really quick for you, right? Yeah, just so you know, so we were expecting you guys to take off at 8 sharp, and I think we had the AAA disabled by 8:10, so we are just like 5 minutes later than we wanted to be. So like the taking a little bit of extra time to count down people and shit, I think it ended up working out perfectly fine. Because how long did you loiter for a color?
When?
For the drop.
Probably like 4 or 5 circles. So like I don't know, probably 10 minutes.
Ooh, that's what I wanted to bring up.
Oh, okay, that's not bad then.
Clearly, and this is nobody's fault necessarily, although it's definitely tasking maybe AV could take in the future, is that helicopter that strafed our infantry. No one noticed that shit at any point.
No, it was 100% noticed. People were screaming on AirNet that it was there, like for a solid 10 minutes. We had like 2 helicopters chasing it around.
Yeah,
so it was definitely noticed.
No one noticed it on the ground.
What?
Oh.
I called it out.
Yes, we did.
When it
Oh,
spun
no,
up.
we
called
did.
it out.
No,
we saw it.
no. I mean, nobody identified it as a potential threat before you guys got into that AO.
Well, I don't think anybody thought that the fucking militia retards would have a fucking hip.
It wasn't a
Wasn't
hip.
even
It was
a
just a
UH.
Huey.
That's a UH1.
I didn't even see it on the.
What was the fucking
pictures.
hip then?
There was no
What?
hip. It was a Huey with rocket pods on it.
I
Yeah, man, you shit my pants at one point in time.
Yeah, they were shooting at us. Imagine shooting your pants, huh?
I was like
watched
right next
it
to you guys the whole time.
That's
up
true,
and I
yeah.
called it out immediately.
I was trying to shoot it down with the ZSU, but the friendly heli got in the way.
So all I was going to suggest was that maybe when we have missions like this where we don't have a whole whack of intel going into it, which is part of the mission design, that caller you can work with Cuts or whoever's planning to assign a bird to do some specific ISR shit for some additional tasking.
Will do.
Possible drone pilots. Usually.
We weren't allowed to use drones.
Also, even if our detachment as a single dude with a stinger, it would have done the job, you know.
The support?
Definite considerations. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that, when it comes to building a mission, that I'll say as a Zeus to specifically force things to happen because I want people to be doing shit and not have an easy approach. Like, realistically, going into this mission, I'm sure a task force of what we're LARPing as would have had a fucking mad sufficient intel. But forcing you guys to gather that intel yourselves as part of the tasking makes shit a little bit more interesting and active. So. And in terms of Anvil 4, well, that is kind of up to Shig as he deems fit. So you guys can discuss internally. But realistically, it'll be Shig's call on how he wants to manage his platoon. So. Well, I'm going to dip because I think we've definitely had a good circle jerk here. Does anyone have anything outside?
Which dip in Copenhagen?
Yeah, homie.
That's what
Long
I got.
cut. Mint.
That's what I got. Oh, same.
Before I log, okay, Shig, we'll talk. And did anyone have anything unrelated to tonight's mission that they want to bring up just as a general, like, hey, I've been noticing this, or hey, you know, I've heard from people that they're not enjoying A, B, or C, or whatever it might be.
For anybody who wasn't here during the last debrief, we are going to be splitting up ops so that Wednesdays follow on to the same timeline as the next Wednesday. Friday follows on to the same timeline as next Friday, so that we can actually get 2 Warnos put out on the same week and 2 op boards planned on the same week. Wednesday and Fridays have different storylines or convergent storylines eventually, but yeah.
So my goal probably tomorrow morning, like map and stuff, because that takes me some time to log on to do. But you'll have a general idea of what the mission will be. Wednesdays off for sure will be more of a patrol style, working off our fob here and pushing out and clearing some towns around us and gathering intel and getting tasking on that. Whereas Friday's ops will be a little bit more set piece. So.
Oh, Kyle,
Wait, can
you're
I set
welcome
off?
to.
Can I set it off?
Go ahead, Bennington.
Yeah, sure.
Not going off. Bro, we should do this for 4th of July.
Hell yeah! 1 year anniversary of the unit.
Hey, Snake.
It is the 4th of July really 1 year anniversary?
I doubt it, but we should do this.
It's close to it.
Oh, he's gone. That was Wolf.
All right, Kelly, let's